That's true, though. Life can pass you by. It happens. You know, you just keep living and living and living. You know what it is? I think you got like 25, 30 years to absorb as much as you can. And then that's it. That's all you know. Because right around then, you get married. And it's over. Right? You have a couple of kids. You're sucked in the bubble. You don't have time to pay attention to what's going on in the world. You're just stuck with these kids. It's shitting all over the place. Don't be a serial killer. Don't touch that. You're just stuck in that. You have 3, 4 kids. That is a 25-year sentence. Trying to get them all through college. Society just keeps fucking going. You get the last one through college, you step back out of the bubble, just... You don't know what happened. You're not even paying attention. You go back to your old record collection. Right? Someone sticks a mic in your face, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah. It's one of the sad things about life. You get old, and it passes you by. I feel it passing me by. I'm 46 years old. I don't even have kids, but I can't keep up anymore. Like, I had a college gig coming up, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out what these kids are into, man. I was 24 when a senior was born. I gotta figure out what these dudes are into. So I guess they were into, like, this, like, DJ music or some shit. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch some of this, you know? So I have, like, a reference or two. I don't want to be that old comic coming to the gig being like, what's up with this Monica Lewinsky? Is this crazy? I mean, this Y2K. I mean, is my stylist going to work? So I put this shit on. Dude, I lasted 90 seconds. 90 seconds. I was open-minded. All right, put it on. 90 seconds later, I'm like this old man. This isn't music. Now, when I was a kid, you dressed like a woman and you sung about the devil. Now that was music. And you had one ballad every album. Started off in black and white, and when the guitar solo came in, it went to color. That was music. Yeah. All of this shit's passing me by. I'll get in trouble later on in my life. Transgender athletes, I don't fucking understand that, you know? I understand it if, you want to switch around. I don't give a shit. But I'm a sports fan. That's a really new concept to me, that you can be a dude, right? Ranked 80th in the fucking world. You have your dick cut off, you put on a sports bra, and now you're the #1 tennis player in the world, just coming out there with your man shoulders. That doesn't seem fair. I might be wrong. I might just be an old guy. I have no idea. But I'm hearing rumors like some of them are getting into that MMA. You can't have that shit. Am I nuts? That is a dickless dude beating the shit out of a woman. Jesus Christ. He might as well hit her with his discarded dick like a flashlight. Hold still. No, it's grounded. Her grounded pound is incredible. Yeah. I'm not saying these people are right, and I'm not saying that I'm right. I know I'm a fucking moron, you know? But that Duck Dynasty guy, I know what he said was wrong, but I don't get the shock. He said that homophobic stuff, and people are like, can you believe? Yeah, I totally can believe it. If I was in Vegas, I would have put 90% of my shit on that he was going to say it. I'd give him a 10% benefit of the doubt, just in case. Are you seriously shocked? Some redneck with a beard down to his dick, sitting in a boat in the middle of a swamp, shooting varmints. Like, what did you think he thought? Did you think he had, like, some progressive ideas on same-sex marriage? Yeah. Didn't he think exactly what you thought he thought, you know? You know what kills me, too? That fucking kind of shit, that homophobic stuff, that all comes from the church, man. Doesn't that come from that shit? Well, there's something in there. I never read the book, all right? I tried to. They need to fucking update it, all right? They update iTunes every fucking 6 days. Can we update the language and make it a little more user-friendly for someone like me, right? No, that's where he gets all those fucking ideas. That Duck Dynasty guy, it's not his fault that he went to, he went to Sunday school in, like, 1949, you know? I think all of that shit comes from the church. They just fucking brainwash you. You know, you come down, don't clap. I don't read. Follow someone else. I'm telling you, they brainwash you. Come into the church, your brain's all empty. They just fill it up like a jelly donut. Just Brainwash him. Say what we say when we say it. Say it again, then you can go home to your toys. All right, I'll say it. I'll say it again. Now can I go home to my toys? Right? And you repeat everything they say. The good, the bad, and the fucking horrific. They stick a star in your forehead. You're a big boy. You big people like me. You get on with your life. You go to college. You get a master's degree in English like this redneck dude had. He invents the new duck whistle, or whatever the hell you call it. Right? Yours goes whack, whack. Mine goes whack, a fucking whack. Dude makes $1 zillion bucks. Gets his own TV show. He's loving life. And out of nowhere, here comes that same question 60 years later from Sunday school, and he stands up like the Manchurian Candidate. Jesus likes hookers and lepers, doesn't like the queers. And everybody freaks the fuck out. And he's like, oh, that's what they said. And they're all dead. Oh, where'd everybody go? I thought I was a good boy. And you're just this scared old man getting yelled at in a boat. I don't understand why a group like GLAAD, right? I always forget, it's gay, lesbian, whatever the fuck it stands for, all right? Why do they go after the old guy in the boat? Why don't they go after the people writing the book, all right? Go, hey, could you please teareth outeth, those couple of pages, right? They're not gonna do that. That's the Vatican. They're their own city. They got a wall around their own city. They're brushing off cases of pedophilia like it's nothing. They're not taking their call. Oh, what happened? Really? Go fuck yourself. Click. They don't care. No, I learned a long time ago. Like, I think it's whatever you're into. But I don't know. I'm not into that religious stuff where. And this is why I actually walked away from my religion. I had to be honest with myself.
I've been battling with my girlfriend a lot lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend because I'm a jerk. So Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? Any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped up charges. Yeah. Trumped up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July is a redhead. I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You ever burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches. Giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other another adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah. Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear, right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it! Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla, tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your own rollerblades.
I'm becoming a psycho. I've realized that about myself. I am. I watch conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 a.m. on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, when you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama is going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win because they're in the process. Yeah, they're in the process of bankrupting this country, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's what, you know, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking? Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watched the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die, and I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, goddamn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy an apology, you know? God, I'd love to see his iPod. I can't imagine the eclectic mix of music. There's so much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. Sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know? Then I started thinking it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work. It comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling from another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over when it's sleeping, but if you fuck it, you're going to jail. All right, I'm thinking about getting a dog, everybody. I am. No, I'm at the point. Nothing alive is dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate on the off chance that maybe they didn't commit the crime, you know, just roll the dice? Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some like 1995, half a Labrador. It's got part of its ear chewed off, you know? Every time I go to use the toaster, it starts freaking out. You know, because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear. Then I got to tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I get one of those crazy dogs, get up at like 3 a.m. to take a leak. Right, I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up, like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? It's time to man up, man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the ground bleeding. What are they gonna do with the dog? They're gonna take him right back down to the prison like some repeat offender, have like shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, you know? Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I gotta work on my temper though. Something I really gotta do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, you know? I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the urge to elbow an old lady in the face. It was like compelling. It was unbelievable. You know when you go to get off a plane, there's like rules when you go to get off the plane, all right? It goes row by row by row. And this lady was all like, ooh, I'm 90. I get to cut everybody, right? So I'm competitive. I start fucking boxing her out, right? Start bringing down like the overhead luggage, you know? So she just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you're going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide open shot. Just real light. Poof. You don't got to hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man. We can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. I thought I had my body under control, and she got like to right about there, and then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. We could still trip her. Just throwing that out.
I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know? More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I'm actually thinking it's kind of wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See what they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is?
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is gonna be great. No, I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm just not compatible with them. No, they got too much energy for me. You notice that's it? They always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $52 for eggs? Now you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, you know, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. I was dating this girl recently. She was like really into like women's issues, you know? Because women always go on TV, you know, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't. All they want is the good shit of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff, like same amount an hour, we'll take some of that. Pay for the movie, fuck that. You can keep that one, I don't like that one. This is nice, that's yucky, that's icky. Hey, come on, people, you can't choose. This girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. That's why I get the $1 more an hour. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out. Like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? You think I want to stay in the vault? Those 20 other sweaty guys sharing a bag of peanuts, you know? Praying to God I'm not the hostage who gets dragged out by the psycho with a gun to my head as he's asking the cops for a helicopter. Which I know he's not going to get, right? I know he's not getting the helicopter. So now I gotta make idle conversation with a 38 to my head going, dude, go for a rent-a-car. I think you should go for the rent-a-car. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. No, that's why I hated that movie, the Titanic. Every girl I meet thinks that movie's romantic. It's irritating. I think that was really romantic, don't you think? It's like, no! It's a fucking horror film. And they're always like, why? I'm like, because all the guys die. See,
See, you're watching it trying to relate, going, who would I be? You'd be that chick floating away in the big piece of luggage, right? I'm watching it going, who would I be? I'd be that dude when, like, the boat breaks in half, that dude who, like, falls straight down and bangs off the shit and goes in the water. That's who I'd be. I'd be wearing a tuxedo, not because I wanted to, but you wanted to dress up that night, right? I'd be falling the whole way down going, I should have fucked that chick in first class. All right, listen, I'm out of time. You guys are a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
We're laughing already because here in the Cayman Islands interview lounge because comedian Bill Burr has stopped by this morning. Bill, thanks for coming to the Cayman Kind Studio.
Oh, thank you for having me in the Cayman Island
Yes.
Memorial Studios.
That's what it is.
Something like that.
And we're glad to have you. You got a busy week. We're just looking at your schedule. You're going to be on Fallon and Conan, right, this
Yep.
week?
I'm Media Boy this week. I got a new animated show, or a cartoon, as I still call it, coming out on Netflix called F is for Family. 6 episodes. It's about this family, the Murphy family. It takes place in 1973, and it's the 70s as far as how Mike Price, one of the co-creators of the show, how we remember it.
And your voice of the dad.
I'm the voice of the
Yeah.
dad, who's an amalgam of my dad, Mike's dad, and everybody else in the writer's room. It's basically, we set it back where in that time where you could, kids today, they wear helmets when they ride bicycles, they have play dates and all that, and back then they just sent you outside, like, get out of here,
It was
just go
great.
outside. Yeah, you could literally bring a gun to the airport back then if you had
You
your
literally
briefcase. As long as you didn't wave it around, it was fine. It was just like a different time, and I just throughout my career I've been telling like family stories on stage, and they always did well. And then somewhere about 8 years ago, as that play date generation came of age,
Yeah.
it started getting like not groans, like started going like that. Even though that they had dads like my dad,
Right.
like that dad still exists and mom still exists, but now it's like socially this whole that's bullying. Oh, that's traumatic for the kid, and it just became like this overly thinking things. And so I just got frustrated, and I stopped telling the stories, but I knew they were still funny. And one day I was walking my dog. I was like, what if I just animated them? And I just was going to do these little 5-minute vignettes on my website, like, Burr family goes to get a Christmas tree, and then all the dysfunction. And of course, being a comedian, I procrastinated, and I never did it. So then one day I had a meeting with Vince Vaughn's company, Wild West, and I just sort of just threw it out there, and they were looking to do the show. Then we got in business with Netflix, and Netflix came up with the brilliant idea to serialize it, which I didn't know means have one episode leading to the next one,
Right.
which really took the writing to another level. And then here we are, 4 years later.
Yeah. No, I mean, we had a chance to watch it today. First of all, it's called F is for Family, but probably not for the family. It's an adult version.
Well, it's not for
adult
kids.
show. Right, not for kids.
Yeah, but families will totally be able to relate to this. If you want to go and
understand,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, if you had any sort of family that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, how close is it to your family? Like, how many kids did you grow up with?
Oh no, it's if we had 6 kids. So
Okay.
there's only 3 kids. I mean, you're not gonna have 6 different kids in drama. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
hard to
Top
draw.
Cat where you can have 20 cats running around. It becomes a pain in the butt. So you just sort of like I took
It's a lot of
pieces,
actors.
pieces of all. Just pieces from my life. Every writer. What I like about it is my family can watch it and not be like, oh my God, you put all our dirty laundry
Right.
out there. But they will see elements and hints and stuff like that. And sometimes it's just a 10-speed bicycle. Other times it's like a catchphrase. Like my dad saying, I'll put you through that bleeping wall was something that he used to say. And
You can't say that now. Dads can't say
Yeah, you
that.
can.
You can?
Yeah, you can do all of that stuff.
Turn
Like,
me in.
There's this whole
me too.
there's this whole Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and that people believe you can't say things like that stuff you were talking about, like the polar bear with the
Yeah, the
scar-
Starbucks cookie.
It's the Starbucks
Yeah,
polar bear
that is
cookie,
one of
yeah.
the biggest non-stories I've ever heard in
Yeah,
my life.
yeah,
Like,
it is.
its throat splash? No, it's a scarf. We screwed it up. It's supposed to be a scarf. Oh, okay. That's
It's a
what it
huge
should
story.
be. As opposed to everybody flipping out.
Right.
Half of those people flipping out about the polar bear. They have iPads and flat screen TVs that all end up in the ocean,
Right,
which
right.
is why those polar bears are drowning.
That's why, yeah.
But you're not going to adjust that part of your life, but you're going to bitch about the cookie.
Right.
Yes.
But,
Yes, about the cookie.
Yes.
but F is for Family. When is it available on Netflix?
December 18th.
Okay.
All you can binge watch all of them.
Binge watch. They're
Yeah.
all there's
So it took us over a year to draw and do all that. And
Well, that's
Done
what
in
people
a few
do now.
hours.
you can watch it all in about
That's
2
what we're
hours,
gonna
40
do.
minutes, and be like, hey, when's the next 6 coming out? But I'm really proud of it. It's not just like, we can curse on the show, which we
Yeah.
obviously.
That's what I
we
meant by
do.
saying for the kids.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of. We still. There's that baby of the greatest moment in the end, like when it
Right.
always came back. And I just remember with
Right.
my family, we're going to get a Christmas tree, and there'd be all this traumatic dysfunction of
Yeah.
trying to get the army of kids and everybody into the car and having the whole thing
station
work.
wagon. Right?
Yeah, and then, but then in the end, the fire's going, you're decorating the tree.
And it all works
Yeah,
out.
and everything settles, the dust settles
Yeah, it's all
back
good.
down again. Yeah, it was very.
No, the show's great, and we really enjoyed it. And it's funny, and it does have that that honeymooners kind of, like you said, baby,
That
you're
element,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool to watch it because to me it's a period piece. I grew up in the '70s, phone on the wall, like you said, the Stingray's a 10-speed bike, so it's gonna be fun. And I think even for a younger generation to look back and go, wow, that was probably a cool time to grow up.
But also, I think a lot of them can also relate to the same stuff. I mean, we're going to have, kids wanting, taking out the family car, kids trying to hook up, and.
You got some big stars, some big voice stars.
Oh,
Laura
yeah,
Dern's in it,
yeah.
right?
Laura Dern does the voice of Susan, Frank's wife, the character that I play. Justin Long does Kevin. Haley Reinhardt from American Idol
Yeah.
does the voice of me, Little Me, I should say.
Oh, is that right?
Debbie Derryberry,
Nice.
if you watch any Pixar movie, she's probably in all over it. Gary Cole, Dave Koechner.
I mean, it's a big name.
Sam
how
Rockwell.
Does that happen? Like, how do you get these people?
You know
on
what?
board
We
for
wrote a
that?
great script.
Right.
That's what happened. We wrote a really funny script, and then I forget who signed on first. But once you bring one of them in
Right.
the boat, then all of a sudden it becomes, oh, this is a real thing. And it was probably the most exciting thing was getting people that I have all that respect for
Right.
to actually react to what we all wrote. And, we had a great writers room, Dave Richardson, Emily Towers, Tom Giannis, and I just remember laughing the whole time. I mean, there's obviously, it's always hard when you first start an episode, just getting the rock moving up the hill. But once you got that first draft and after the second punch up, that's when it really got fun. And that's when you could really tighten it up and really,
How many episodes?
There's 6.
Okay.
So they kind of gave us
So you
6
got in
just
the
to
groove.
see how it does. And how it works at Netflix is they put the whole thing out at once. And then if people respond to it, then they just do an order of the second season. So when that's going to happen, I don't know how soon
You need
that
views,
happens,
right? I
so-
mean,
I'm
that's
sure.
yeah, that's how it
Yes.
works,
Yeah.
right?
And we're also coming out the same day as Star Wars. So
Oh.
I'm hoping,
that's right. You can't get tickets to Star Wars, so
yeah,
This is, if you have
maybe people
Netflix.
will watch. People telling me I'm going to watch while I stand in line for Star Wars.
Yeah,
and I'm going to
just
binge
sleep
watch
out
this
overnight.
stuff.
But that's what people do now. Like, Christine is, got me into Walking Dead, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how you
Oh.
guys watch it. Just
Binge watching.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
watched
yeah.
Bloodline, and I
Oh,
watched
yes.
Peaky Blinders. I'm watching Fargo. And,
It's
I
too
just-
easy. I mean, because
Yeah.
the next one just rolls and rolls, and you
Yeah, next thing you
can't
know,
get
it's
off
4
the
in the
couch,
morning.
right?
You're like, oh my God, I got to do radio here.
Just want to see what happens in the next episode. Okay, I'm watching another hour.
Yeah.
And then it goes and it goes. But I mean, Netflix is such a great venue. They've got, I think, the most Golden Globe nominations.
Oh,
It's
is
like,
that right?
Yeah. It's
Are they not
like the
afraid
place
to
be.
be not politically correct? Because I mean, in parts of the show, there was like, "Wow, you."
Well, no, yeah, the
you know what I'm saying?
networks, their notes were basically push it further. It was the dream.
Wow.
But that whole political correctness, it's just, I swear to God.
That's your hot button, Bill.
No, it's like, it isn't though. It's just like people are adults. They understand. Look, if animated characters can destroy all of your parenting in 6 episodes, you're like the worst parent ever.
You're the worst parent.
Yeah, or there's something wrong with your kid. He was just born with the Damien seed or,
Yeah.
or whatever.
But
It's just
it was
Well,
refreshing to see that you do those things because, ironically, and I think maybe that was the inspiration for it too, is that's what you got away with in the '70s. You couldn't do Archie Bunker now. Maybe you could do
you
it.
totally could.
Right?
If the networks
You could
and
be
the
Archie
advertisers could just stand up to these, like so many of these groups, they're just bullies and they deliberately take things out of context. Look, I'm a believer that if you're wrong, you apologize. But you don't let somebody, if they take something out of, like that stupid polar bear.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's a scarf.
Yeah.
It's a scarf.
Yeah,
So now
yeah,
I have
right.
to apologize because you think Like, what kind of a dope thinks that Starbucks is going to have a bear with a slit throat in the holidays?
Yeah.
Like, they sat around and have, that's what we're going to do. We have polar bears with its throat cut.
Wait a minute, do we know?
This will drum up business. And then I think
Have they
it's also...
apologized yet? Do we know? Because they
No,
probably
no.
they haven't
I
apologized
don't think
yet.
they're gonna
Okay.
But I
apologize.
think it becomes like clickbait. It's
Right.
really lazy journalism, and
Yeah.
it's an easy thing. I swear to God, like comedians get more blowback than bankers, who depleted the savings of people who fought in wars for this
Right.
country, and
Right.
they're eating Alpo now, sitting in some old folks' home instead of their house that they should have had. And those guys, none of them go to jail. But God forbid you tell a joke in a strip mall
Right.
that somebody and one person out of like 400 doesn't like it, and that becomes the story. And they write a blog about it, and they treat the blogger like they won like a Peabody Award for the New York
Right,
Times.
right.
It's just some dope in the crowd who sat there and watched 100 subjects go by, and everything was funny, and then it came to their part of their life, and that was a statement.
Yeah.
He meant that
Right.
one.
It struck a nerve.
Yeah, they're
Right.
babies.
Have
They're
you,
babies, and if you just stand up to them, they're bullies.
Have you changed up your stand-up at all? Because
No.
you said you felt it happen. Like, you felt this change about 8 years ago, and a lot, Jerry Seinfeld, a lot of comedians have addressed this.
I
that-
never felt it in the club. I just saw people's I just saw how it worked. And I have a podcast network, okay?
Plug it.
The
Go
All
ahead.
the All Things Comedy Network. And when we have a friend of ours has a special coming out, we go, okay, we're all tweeting in 3, 2, 1, and there's like 400-500 of us, and we all tweet, and it gets momentum. That's
Right.
500 people in a country of over 400 million can get
Right.
momentum on social media with 500 tweets at the same time. So when they sit there and they act like the sky is falling and everybody's freaking out, it's strategic. How you get offended.
Right.
Like, they're on, T minus, we're going to
Yeah,
be
right.
offended. And T minus, and
Well, I know, go back to Seinfeld. He won't do colleges anymore. At least that's what I've heard, because it's so PC that
I don't know that he
everyone's
won't do
offended.
colleges. I saw that interview. I think he was making, and that was another thing. He just basically said what was out there. And then even that was like,
Right.
is he thinking about retiring? And even then they blew that up. It's
Right.
just constantly, I think, because there's so many places to watch and listen to things now. If there's any ripple, you have to make it look like, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
And try to like just pumping everything up and making a story even when there isn't one there. So it's a cartoon. It's adult humor. There's adults.
It's fun.
Nothing bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
ISIS doesn't get stronger. it's just relax.
No,
Just
it's-
sit down and watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you do, watch it.
Binge it if you do binge.
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
fun. It's F is for family, and again, it's available December 18th on Netflix. And
Yes.
and again, you
Now,
can visit.
depending on the fact that I know you have mature adults listening to this, and they'll be able to
Absolutely.
understand.
They'll love it. They'll love it because the most
We'll
of
have
them
a good time. Have a
Most of
good
them grew
laugh.
up in the '70s. It's going to be a homecoming thing.
There you go.
Bill, thanks for coming in. We
Hey, thank you for
appreciate it.
having me. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Bill Burr in the studio, everybody.
What's it like to be a comedian in 2016?
It's the exact same way as it was in 2006 and in 1996. It's a completely exaggerated. They make it seem like you walk into the club and there's people out there with signs and they're throwing
you're in the
stuff
Middle
at
East.
you.
Yeah.
They aren't. It's just completely media manufactured. Like, you could literally genetically alter the food. You can create a heroin epidemic. They're not going to bring that up. But if you do a Caitlyn Jenner joke
Right.
every night for 2 years and one person complains, there's a chance that they'll blow it up. It's like lazy journalism. It's an easy story. And, and then the people who get offended they're childish people. They're not adults. Because they'll sit there and they'll let 100 subjects goes by and it's all a joke, and then it gets to their neck of the woods, and then all of a sudden it's a statement, and you're up there getting legislation enacted for some sort of law to make their life more miserable. Whatever their point.
Conventions, Republican convention, Democratic convention?
No. I think if you watch those, you're an idiot. I don't understand why you would sit there wasting your time. They all say the same thing. They're all like, over the last 4 years, everything good that happened was because of us. And we would have done more good stuff if it wasn't for those guys. And then the Democrats go, oh, we did all the good stuff. It's like you're all working for the same guy. They bet on both horses. And then it just kind of goes. It's not for you, right? You vote for that guy that says, like, there's a meteor headed right towards the planet. That's the guy you vote for.
go with the psycho, because there's no way there's any corporate money behind that guy, right? Like, that guy is going to come on TV. He's going to come on TV, like, reading files from the Pentagon. Like, you know what else they're doing? Like, just freaking people out.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Did you pay attention to the election? We got a new mayor here. Bloomberg is out.
I didn't even know there was an election. I honestly don't. I don't pay attention at all. You know.
It's funny.
Bankers get bonuses of any way. The upper echelon get from like 10 million up to 100 million, and the president of the United States makes like 400 grand a year. So right there, I watched enough wrestling to see a rigged game, and you know, there's like people with YouTube channels making as much as the leader of the free world. So I just think he's set up to be bribed, and you act accordingly. So basically anybody who comes at me going these you know, the conservative right, or these liberals, like, I just zone out. I can't even talk to you if you're actually still looking at it like those are two choices that you're getting. You're not. It's the same. Once you get past a certain level, it just seems like it's you know,
all the same.
Yeah, you've jumped in the river, and you act accordingly, or you get that convertible ride in Dallas.
What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I'd like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys!
I do not belong to you. I believe you belong to my Father in heaven, and his name is Yahweh! 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 I call in prayer.
This guy, I absolutely fucking love this guy. This guy, he has passion. He's informed. He's a little fucking crazy. He is a true fucking patriot, without a doubt. The amount of people who would watch this guy and because he yells Yahweh would just say that he's a nut job is actually a travesty.
I'm a Jew. I belong.
There's no need to use a taser.
He is illegally tasering me. I am defending myself in favor of that.
An easy spot to be in, you know, and I stayed true to who I was, an uninformed jackass who can't fucking read out loud, who's into conspiracy theory. I talked about Hillary dressing up like a yak and fucking people under a mountain. I talked about Trump being a dope and that whole ridiculous shit about building a fucking wall. I trashed them both equally, but, you know, people who vote for colors, right? You got a blue tie, you can say nothing wrong. You got a red tie, you can't do anything wrong, right? I got so much fucking shit. It's so amazing how people hear things. My point in all of that was like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if we all just stopped yelling at each other. All right? All right, if you want to hear my fucking theories.
I'd love to adopt. It's a great thing to do. But if I do it, I'm not telling any of my friends. I'm just going to show up with the kid one day just to piss him off, right? Mine just turned 6. Mine just turned 7. I'd love to just show up with an 8-year-old like dominoes. Yeah. Now I get to tell you what you don't understand. I should adopt. I think it's a great thing to do. And I already know what I want to get. I want to get like an 07, 08. Always garage. Good dentition. You know what I would love to do? I'd love to rescue some kid that works in a sweatshop. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, find the kid that made this shirt. You show up at the factory like, hey, huh? Hey, bring it in. Bring it in, you maniac. How you doing? You're going back to the States. L-shaped couch, flat screen TV. Get in the car. The rest of you keep going. But you?
with me. Yeah. So that was like a thing for like half a second. Sean Connery died. The great Sean Connery. Yeah, my favorite James Bond of all time. Yeah, and he was getting a proper send-off for about 8 minutes on Twitter, and then the first hairy-legged white chick shows up, right? And she's just got to be like, yeah, are we really going to celebrate this man who advocated the hitting of women? It's like, first of all, he didn't advocate hitting women, okay? He just said, every once in a while, you give him a little slap. Yeah, give him a little back of the hand. You remind them who's making the box office. You reset their hard drive. That's all he said, okay? Yes, it's a crazy statement in 2021. 1976, it's not good, but it's not crazy. Right?
Yeah, and that's not a homophobic thing either, that I wouldn't send my hypothetical son to drama class. I'd let my hypothetical daughter take a drama class, okay? My son can't fucking do any of that shit unless I'm sending him to one of those fame high schools where everybody's doing it. One of those creative schools. Go to the cafeteria, everybody's like, cottage cheese, what is it made of? Right? Like, then he can do all he wants. But there's no way I'm letting him do that at a public school with those goddamn animals. He's gonna get the shit kicked out of him, gonna come home with his underwear up his ass, and then I have to be the adult and go down to the principal and be like, well, there's some sort of tomfoolery going on around here. I don't want to do that. I want to find the fucking 8-year-old. What is he, this tall? I want to find the kid that did it to my kid, tip him upside down into some sand or a puddle, anywhere where oxygen is going to be an issue, right? And just leave him there, right? And you wait till that one leg just starts shaking so you know he's down to his last breath. And then you turn him upside down, you upside right, and you grab him by his throat, and you just say something horrific. You ever do that again, I'm going to beat your mother to death with the family dog.
I grew up in a very, angry time. You were afraid of your dad, your dad's dad. I talked about this shit before, but I'm still working through it, so just bear with me. You just were fucking, I love seeing kids nowadays loving their dad. Like, Dad, what's Dad? Want to go play, Dad? Let's go ride bikes, Dad! Dad! Yeah, when I was a kid, it was like, Dad, fuck, Dad, fuck, run, open a window. Mom, what did you see in that? Fucking lunatic, right? And not just my house. I love my parents, but it was just the time. Like, everybody was fucking crazy. You were afraid, and people could put their hands on you, and other people's dads could hit you, and then you come home, well, what the fuck did you do? I'll fucking hit you first. Just nuts. Teachers would grab you, dig their nails into your fucking neck. She'd come home. Well, she wouldn't have done that unless something fucking happened, right? It was all of that shit.
I was doing a gig in Dallas, and some waitress wrote on a piece of chalkboard. She goes, we like our beer the way we like our violence, domestic. Right? Yeah, I gotta tell you something. That's a great fucking joke. There is zero fat on that. You need every word of that joke. You take one word out, it doesn't work. It's a perfect joke. So whatever, nobody gives a shit. One person comes in, they don't like it. They ask the manager to take it down. He's just like, that's our sense of humor here. Have a beer, go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing. So she takes a picture of it, she puts it up on Facebook, and all of a sudden people start complaining, and they fired the manager and the waitress because of that. Yeah. I don't understand. What do they think's gonna happen if somebody reads that joke? You're some guy who would never hit a woman, Would never hit a woman. You can't hit women. You can't. You honestly cannot. You ever see how they fall? They fall like toddlers,